Hey everyone, I just want to do a quick gameplay and physical feature review of the new Punitapi Chan, and I'll try to get through as many features as possible. So first things first, when you put the batteries in, it doesn't turn on automatically. You have to press and hold this middle button to get it to switch back from the sleep mode. The second thing you'll notice when you turn back on is that that straw is actually not digitally rendered. It's a physical straw that is showing behind a see-through LED screen. The first time I realized this is what it was doing, I was like, whoa, that is really cool. It was not what I was expecting, not what I thought was happening when I saw the ads. And so you can see the effect is actually quite seamless. So it's one physical straw that goes all the way into the back of the container. It's lit up by bright LEDs on the side that light up the straw in the middle. And so that's what the physical tech is. Let me step through the core gameplay so you can get a sense of what that looks like. At its core, the device is more about set completion than nurturance in the typical Tamagotchi devices. Here's how you discover new boba. I'm going to click on this first icon, and the UI navigation is very similar to what is in the Tamagotchi. The first button scrolls through, the second button is the confirm, the third button is the cancel. So this magnifying glass lets me go through and do the discovery minigame. You're allowed to select the drink base, the cup size, and the amount of sugar. Presumably, this affects the type of boba that you'll find, but there isn't a reference table in the game instructions. So it's not clear how much difference they make, or if there's a huge overlap between the boba types you can discover across the types that the parameters you put in. That's my sense, is that you can discover a lot of the boba types regardless of which of these parameters you put in. So here's a core mini game. The cup fills up. You're asked to stir. You'll see that the special one lights up, the one with the mask. When it hits a center area, oops, I missed it. You can squish the straw. This starts the mini game where you have to push down until it gets very close to that red part. You have to switch it side from side and then push down quickly again. That number is how close it is to the top of the straw. And once you get to 0 on the top, that's when you get the boba. And it reveals what the boba type is. So here, I got a boba type that I've already collected. If it's a new one, it would say new and then show the boba type. So that's how I collect a new boba, and you go through and collect. The other part of it is you're constantly creating new recipes to upgrade your shop. So I'm here at the second stage of the shop. The game comes with 6 mini games, 2 of which are unlocked when you start the game. And there are 4 stages to unlock. So there are 5 shop tiers altogether. And so presumably every tier unlocked, you get a new mini game. The mini games play very much like the Tamagotchi mini game. So here, the first mini game, I'm catching the boba, and there's bad boba that, whoops, not doing a good job, whoops. And you're trying to avoid the bad boba, which I'm doing a really shitty job of. And the amount at the top right is the amount of money that you're making. You can make a max of 200 coins per mini game. So let me just finish this one. So that's the first mini game. The second mini game is also a time-based reaction game, but uses the straw. So here you have to push the straw in at the right time as the cups go through on the conveyor belt. So like the Tamagotchi games, they're all revolved around some kind of timing, reaction-based interaction. And again, the max goes up to 200. You're trying to avoid the cans. You're trying to make sure you can put it correctly in the cups. And again, you can make a max of 200 gold coins. The first game that you unlock by upgrading to the second tier shop is a quick matching game. So there are 2 customers that come in, and you have to match the mix that they want of the cup lid and the cup container. I've played this quite a few times, and you can actually mess up you don't get penalized for messing up. It shortens your time a little, but I've messed up to 5 times and still been able to reach 200 points. Um, and once you hit 200 points, that's the max, and it stops the game, and you come back out. Now, with all this money you get, you're actually getting ingredients from the shop. So here's the Tappy Market shop. Um, there are things like milk and sugar and cream and soda. And so for each of these, there's a set price. You can click the button to increase the number. Oh, you can only buy up to 4, and then shop it and put into your cart. As you upgrade the shop, and I'll say more about this later, you'll get new ingredients to unlock. And with these ingredients, you're making drinks. Um, so for every boba that you collect, and I've collected all the ones in the first tier, so let me just do, let's do this peach one. It'll tell you it wants to be mixed with a certain ingredient. So there's really no guessing. My shop is empty. My ingredient shelf is empty right now. So then you would pick the ingredient here, and then you would mix it in a blender to create a new drink. Let me show you the drink. So here are all the tier 1 recipes. And again, it's saying any boba plus, I actually don't know, I think it's a slushy, shaved ice, creates this kind of boba. Whereas the cat boba plus a shaved ice creates, this new cat boba drink. For every tier, there are 7 recipes that you have to make. And abstractly, when you create the new recipe, it goes onto your shop menu. And then when you've unlocked all the recipes for this tier, you open up a new stage of the store. So in this second stage, I'm in the truck. In the first stage, it was just the stand-up market stall. Every stage that you unlock new boba types to discover. So let me scroll through, all the tier 1 boba so you can get a sense. So there are, that was 20, so it's a 20, so 4, 6, 17. So 17 in the first tier. In the second tier, I've collected almost all of them except one. Again, every tier you unlock, there's a new set of boba that you get, a new set of ingredients as well, a new set of recipes. And again, it unlocks that one new minigame per stage. I want to touch on a couple of other things. The button presses, the physical features of the device. The button presses are really responsive, so if you played the Tamagotchi meets, the earlier versions, there was a bit of lagginess and gumminess to the response time of the controls. There's none of that here. The buttons feel snappy, they're responsive. They're also much bigger than the Tamagotchi buttons, so they're more comfortable to play over a long time instead of the small buttons kind of pressing into your fingers. The straw, as I said, is a physical straw that goes all the way through. It's made of a hard rubber-like material. It might be silicone, but I don't think so. It feels like just rubber. It's got a matte, non-slip texture on it, so when you're playing the games, your fingers are not likely to slip. It's also sturdier than I was expecting, so I'm not worried about damaging it in normal gameplay. But because it does stick out and because it is much larger than a Tamagotchi, it's a little more awkward to store and to kind of carry around, especially in a bag or a pouch, because if you have a pouch, it would still have to fit this whole length of the device. But overall, the straw was sturdier than I thought it would be. They don't show you the shape of the full device in the YouTube video ad. It's actually chopped off flat on the back. And so you're essentially getting a half a cup in terms of design. I think aesthetically, I would have preferred it if it were a full round cup. It would have felt kind of nicer to look at, nicer in the hand. The color and the design, because it goes quite deep. It's about 2 inches deep from the top here on the bottom. And so there's a lot of this empty space on the sides, on the top, and in the back of the wall. That's just solid single color of the color you choose. And there's really just a decoration of the faceplate around the edges. So it makes it look more like a kid's toy, than the Tamagotchis, which are more compact. They fit in your hand nicely. The full faceplate is designed and colored and styled. So that definitely stuck out to me. Comparisons with the Tama in terms of the gameplay. So instead of nurturing one Tamagotchi at a time, you're really collecting lots of boba. So it's more about set collection, collecting the boba, collecting the recipes, and reminds me more of the Sumiko Garashi devices because the main gameplay is centered on the set collection. There's really no time dependent or time sensitive features. You don't have to wait to collect new boba. You can play for short stretches or long stretches at your own choosing. You don't have to plan your time around having to wait for something to happen to make sure you're there when something happens, like the Tamagotchi. So there also isn't much substantive interaction with the boba or recipes, as you'll have noticed. So you make recipes from the boba, but they're all just sprites that you're collecting. And these are all pros or cons depending on the gameplay pattern that you're looking for. My overall review of the device, I think the tech with the physical straw is really cool. I think that still gets me. It's really novel. Totally wasn't expecting that from the the YouTube ad. Collecting boba feels more like a grind, though. I have to say, after even 5 hours of gameplay, especially that because the boba that you find are random, and so you'll start getting lots of dupes as you get close to finishing the stage. And so you may be grinding through 20 dupes to find 20, 50 dupes to find that last one boba, as I am trying to collect through the second stage and getting through each stage. And so it's essentially a set collection mechanic via a slot machine type of gameplay. And while you're unlocking new mini games through each stage of the vendor shop unlock, you're not really unlocking any new features or mechanics to interact with your boba, your recipes. So in a sense, you've seen the entire game after the first 10 minutes of gameplay. I think people who enjoy collecting, completing things will enjoy Punitapi Chan. But I think if you're someone who primarily enjoyed the nurturance aspect of the Tamagotchis, especially if grinding the mini games to make money in the original Tamagotchis was frustrating or a grind to you, you're probably not going to enjoy the Punitapi Chan. And just one last thing I forgot to mention in terms of the physical device. As you see the lights, the LEDs are bright and they come up from the sides. There are two on each side. And so there's a bit of light leak, when you're looking at it even head on. They made a design choice where the LEDs are really kind of flat against the edge there. So there's really, even head on, there's a lot of glare. And if even you're a little bit off, there's a lot more glare in the device. You kind of get used to it. You kind of forget that it's there, but there's definitely that bit of light glare on the edge as well. So that's it for my review. I hope that was helpful. Thanks so much for watching.